Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome to my first react to episode 2 of season 3. We were just introduced to Kenny, who was a mass murderer and who Levi lived with for a time back before he joined the Survey Corps, which is wild. It's been a crazy first episode. We learned that Erwin's being treated as a criminal. Pastor Nick was tortured and murdered by the military police, which is indicating that they are working for somebody higher, which I believe could be the Lords, but also the king himself, that the church and the king are one and the same, in that the interests of hiding the truth is what matters most, because they need to legitimize King Fritz's rule, because potentially his rule was brought about through usurping another and committing atrocities against another race of people. That's what I think is happening. I'm probably way off, but we'll see. Series 1, episode 1, we see Erin's mom getting eaten alive, and it's very brutal and visceral. Episode 1 of series 2, Mike has probably the most gruesome death in Attack on Titan so far. We also got introduced to the Beast Titan, who we realized could talk. So that was absolutely insane. And then season 3, we were introduced to Kenny, who is obviously going to play a significant role. I think he could be a hitman hired by the elite within the interior to take out potentially Levi or those protecting Eren and Historia. We know that Eren and Historia have now piqued the interest of the royal family, of the monarchy, and that is now playing into internal politics and corruption, and just, oh my god, I'm so excited to see how this plays out even more. If you enjoy anime reactions, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below. I am Sophie, for anyone new here. I am a doctor of literature. I love analyzing themes, narrative, and character development. So if that sounds like your jam, you're more than welcome to join us. And if you would like to support this channel even further, we do have a Patreon where we offer early access and also uncut videos. So you're more than welcome to join us on there. The community is super lovely. We've been recently sharing pictures of our pets in the community chat, and it's just a really lovely, sweet place to be. And I'm really proud of the community that we're building here, how lovely and kind everyone is. And that's probably the proudest thing I have about this channel. But yeah, it's been lovely. It's been a great vibe. And I just, again, never expected this when I watched anime for the first time since I was 14. I'm 30. So I kind of was like, no one's going to want to listen to me yap about anime. But here we are. And we're about to watch episode 2. So without further ado, let's get into it, because that cliffhanger was wild.
Levi, 大きくなったか？お前もあんまり変わってねえな。ケニー！バキュー！
Holy shit. I love that I'm seeing more of Levi, because we didn't get a lot of Levi in season 2, and there should be no surprise here. I am a Levi fangirl through and through, to the point that I'm considering getting Levi tattooed on me. I do have tattoos, before anybody thinks that's weird. I do already have tattoos on me. I have Pokemon tattoos, which you can see here. It's my Vaporeon, and then my Jigglypuff and my Charmander. So it's not unusual for me to get like nerdy tattoos. And I have the Mortal Blade from Sekiro on my leg. But what I'm thinking of doing is, my other leg is very bare, and I thought it would be, you know, a nice little testament to the channel for every anime I watch and finish. And if I really enjoy the anime, maybe I'll get a tattoo related to it. So I was thinking of getting like the Wings of Freedom and then the flowers that we see in the show that routinely crop up as an homage to Attack on Titan, because the show is probably one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I get so excited to sit down and watch this series every week, because it is genuinely one of the best things I have ever seen. And I'm so mad that I missed out on this experience when it first came out. I think my first anime tattoo will definitely be Attack on Titan.
術
どうかしたんですか？
出るぞ。はっ
Jesus Christ! Oh my god. Oh!
こっちの動きを完全に読んでたってことか。ケニー、よりによってなぜ奴が憲兵に。
Wait. Was that like a little flashback to Levi? Like little baby Levi? Oh, Levi. It's a little emaciated Levi. He was starving and dying, and Kenny saved him. But why is Kenny turned against him now? And why is he in the military police? Again, it could be similar to how Levi was brought into the Survey Corps because Owen recognized something in him, but also wanted to keep him close because he knew he was being used in an attempted assassination against Owen, and to find that information to absolve that merchant from his dodgy dealings. So I'm wondering if it's similar that Kenny's been ingratiated into the military police because they recognize something in him. But oh, my sweet baby. The animation in this show is absolutely insane. It's so smooth and flawless and just, oh my god, I love it so much.
言うと
くそ、このままじゃ部下もエレンもヒストリアも失う。ち
どうもこの店から薄汚ねネズミの匂いがするな。どちびのネズミのよ。見つけた。憲兵様が悪党を殺しに来たぜ。パンパン。なんだいねえのかよ。
This
ここだけに
dude
久しぶりだ
is
な。
crazy.
まだ生きてるとは思わなかったぜ。憲兵を殺しまくったあんたに。
Yeah, that's what I don't
憲兵やったんだ。
ガ
understand.
キには大人の事情なんてわかんねえもんさ。おめえの活躍を楽しみにしてたよ。俺が教えた処世術がこんな形で役に立ったとはな。袋のネズミって言葉を俺は教えなかったか。これじゃあおめえがどっから逃げようと上からドカンだぜ。なあ、リヴァイ。
Is Levi serving as a distraction?
どうしてお前が調査兵になったか俺にはわかる気がするよ。俺らはゴミための中で生きるしかなかった。その日を生きるのに精一杯でよ。やりたいことが見つかったんだ。単純だろう、単純だが実際人生を豊かにしてくれるな。趣味だな。
趣味か。俺の部下の頭を吹っ飛ばしたのもあんたの趣味か。
ああ、大いなる目的のためなら殺しまくりだ。お前だっててめえのために殺すだろう。
ああ。待て。
I feel like Levi's serving as a distraction
ジェイさん、
so that the rest of the squad can go after Aaron and Historia.
椅子。
Holy shit! You just used that man as a human shield.
兵士長からの伝言はこう。これからは巨人だけじゃなく人と戦うことになる。
あ、それって。
Yeah. They're gonna be fighting against the interior.
今のは中央憲兵か。
Neil's back. I wonder if I'm gonna like Neil.
やっと死んだんですか？
バカ野郎。死人がどうやって返事するってんだ。
Because I didn't quite like him in series 1. I wonder if maybe he's gonna turn out to be not so bad a guy. And he's going to be annoyed with the corruption that he's seeing and maybe help or attempt to help.
よかったですね。
ああ、いいわけねえだろ。
おい、エレンたちだ。
Okay, it wasn't a distraction, but it might very well end up being a distraction. Jesus Christ. God, I love Levi so much.
馬車を追うぞ。
What a fucking badass.
エレンたちを取り戻すためには躊躇するな。殺せるときは殺せ。分かったか。
了解。
Mikazu's like, I don't give a shit. I'll kill them.
アルミンちゃう。馬車に移れ。他は援護だ。はい。また人が。
Jean, get your head in the game, buddy.
動きだ。
He's gonna underestimate her.
おい。
Oh, Jean. Please. Jean, get it together. What the fuck just happened there? I have a feeling that maybe Jean shot her or somebody else shot her. No, because Jean didn't have a gun in his hand. Did Jean have a gun in his hand? Or was it? No, it was his sword he had in his hand. What I love is how, like, Mikasa has no hesitation in doing what needs to be done and at the same time rushes in to help Jean without even thinking about it in the same way that he rushed in to help her. And just the parallels. Okay, information available for public discourse. Anti-personnel omnidirectional mobility gear. This device was developed not to exterminate Titans, but to directly counter ODM gear for use in fighting other humans. With speed exceeding human perception, allowing one to attack from blind spots, the device exhibits tremendous dominance in cities and forests. So, like, basically like a gun, right? Okay, we're back to the capital. Yeah, so they're in on it. It's part of a biggest plan.
ニック司祭からどこまで情報を得たのかについては仕方がない。あまり強引に突っ込めば逆に知らなかったことを教えることになりかねん。人類憲章にのっとって処理すればいい。これまでそうしてきたようにな。レイス教からだ。エレンとヒストリアを抑えたらしい。エルヴィンおよび調査兵団についても手は打ったとある。こちらが動く必要はないと。
What do you mean he's moved against Erwin?
私物で戻してほしいものがあれば後で。
いや、問題ない。お前と話したいと思っていた。
思い出話に付き合う気はないぞ。
釣れないな、ナイル。一緒に調査兵団を志した仲だろう。
So they have a personal connection.
希望か、絶望か。中央は人類の未来を託すに足る存在か否か。選ぶのは誰だ？
Who's the real enemy? Humanity.
お前は誰を信じる？
エルヴィン、お前何をやるつもりだ？
Oh, Erwin's going to end up moving against the monarchy and nobility. Oh, it was Armin, wasn't it? Oh, Armin. Oh, my sweet boy. He did that to protect Jean. Oh, my sweet boy. Oh. He did what had to be done, but it's different killing a human versus killing a Titan. This is the 4th time this boy has been kidnapped. Jeez.
銃を撃って君を助けたとき、僕は正直間に合わないと思った。ごめん。でも、なんで先に撃ったのは僕なんだろう。
He couldn't do it.
相手が一瞬撃つのを躊躇した。そうだろう。
They both hesitated.
すまねえ。
俺がすぐにやらなきゃいけなかったのに。
僕が殺した人はきっと優しい人だったんだろうな。僕なんかよりずっと人間らしい人。
Oh, Armin, that's not the
す
case.
ぐに引き金を。
You've just seen and done so much.
アルミン、お前の手はもう汚れちまったんだ。以前のお前には戻れねえよ。
You've done more than anyone could ever expect of a child to do.
なまんまだったらな。今ここにジャンはいないだろ
Can't regret the choices you make.
う。お前が引き金をすぐに引けたのは仲間が殺されそうになっていたからだ。アルミン、お前が手を汚してくれたおかげで俺たちは仲間を一人なくさずに済んだ。
It was for the greater good.
ありがとう。
人と戦うなんて間違ってると思ってました。そんなことをいきなりやらせる兵長のことも。
Times are changing.
怖かったからです。でも間違ってたのは俺でした。次は必ず撃ちます。
何が本当に正しいかなんて俺は言ってない。そんなことはわからないからな。お前は本当に間違っていたのか。
Goes back to his OVA where Erwin says, you never know what the outcome of your actions are going to be, so you can't regret them.
待ってくれ。俺は馬車の運送に使われているただの追い
あ
棒だ。
なたとは会ったことがある。
Yes, she did in series 1.
彼は
Yes.
松で会長と呼ばれていました。
Who was willing to sacrifice everybody for his own
ディモリー
goods.
ブスだろ。
中央憲兵に命令されて従っただけだ。しかも失敗したからな。リーブス商会はこれから全財産没収。俺やあのバカ息子はもちろん部下たちまで何らかの事故に遭って死ぬだろう。
黙って殺されていいのか。破綻寸前のトロストクかなんとか持ってるのはリーブス商会が人と仕事を結びつけているのが大きい。だが商会がなくなったら一体何人が冬を越せるだろうな。
それで町と俺の部下が餓死するのを止められるってのか。
保証はしない。ただそのために動くことだけは信用してもらっていい。
エルビー、大変だ。事態が悪化した。それも2つだ。1つはエレンとヒストリアが拉致された。
で、もう一つは。
エレンがユミルとベルトルトの会話を思い出したんだけど、これが事実だとすれば飛びそうだ、頭が。
落ち着いてください。
問題は何だ。
早く救出しないとエレンは食われる。
Oh, is somebody going to eat him so that they gain the ability to switch back into a human form because they're trapped in a Titan body?
本当にリヴァイたちがいるのか。
Or to gain
いますよ。
his memories?
協力するって約束でなんとか解放されてきたんです。ここか。
Oh,
リーブス貴様。
serves them right for what they did to Nick. Torture them. Do it. Get the information.
お待たせ。もう終わってないだろうね。
ああ、俺も慣れてなくてな。
サレス、私も人間の拷問は初心者なんだが、よろしく頼むよ。
Oh, God.
とにかく目的を言え。何も聞かずに拷問するやつがあるか。
エレンとヒスト
Ask
リアは
them
どこだ。
anything.
な
He's
ぜ
just
ヒストリアを
torturing
ね
them.
エイスケとは
Jesus.
何だ。
遅い。急ぐんだよ、こっちは。
Ah.
再会か。
心なしか兵長の時より悲鳴が大きいですね。
Everything's gone south so
犯
quickly.
罪者だよ。
Yeah.
僕らを食べようとしてくるから殺すわけじゃない。考え方が違うから、それだけで命を。アルミン、
It's a civil conflict.
僕らはもう
A schism.
人じゃないよ。一体何枚剥がせばあんなにうまくなれるの？
God, Hanji.
数えきれないな。この狭い壁。
Hanji's terrifying
なぜ今まで戦争が起きなかったかわかるか。
because nobody
俺
knows
た
the
ち第
truth.
一憲兵がこの汚い手で守ってきたんだよ。
They were involved with the
下
miner.
手に利口な教師から空を飛ぼうとしたバカな夫婦も田舎の牧場にいたバイトも
全部俺たちが消したから人類はやってこられた。
Historia's
お前ら
mum.
ほど楽しそうに人を痛めつけるやつは見たことがねえ。化け物だ。王がいる。俺はこの壁の安泰と王を信じてる。俺たちのやってきたことは間違ってないと。けどこんなに言いたかったんだね。俺をなぶり殺しにしてくれ。それが俺の血に染まった人生のすべてだ。
Then do something good for once in your life and tell them what the hell is going on. He's just a puppet in a bigger plan.
おい、押すなよ。痛えな。ラルフ。
情けないやつめ。爪一枚で全部喋りやがって。サネスの爪はもう残ってねえんだぞ。お前とは大違いだ。
知るかよ。そりゃあいつの勝手だ。王だの平和だの暑苦しいやつで、俺らは迷惑してたんだ。
It's psychological torture. It's what they sometimes do. If they're investigating two people they suspect of committing a crime together, they'll try and turn them against one another. They'll go in and tell them one thing, oh, such and such said this about you. And then they'll go back and tell somebody else the same thing. And it's to turn them against one another. So then they'll start fighting to preserve their own skin and to protect themselves. And I think that's what they're doing here, is they're trying to make him psychologically break by hearing this conversation of someone that he obviously cares for, and realizing that what he's doing is for nothing, essentially, because everyone else is willing to sell out so quickly.
あんたたちでやつを殺してくれよ。
お前の証言と一致するか確かめるまではダメだ。
もう俺のゲロしたことで当たってんのに。
It's a script. Yeah.
なあ、俺の牢にはベッドはあるのか。
They're letting him overhear it for a reason.
さあサネス、気を取り直そう。私も辛いけど頑張って拷問する。
レイスケが本当の王家だ。
I was right. No fucking way.
商人ってのは信用が売り物じゃなかったのかよ。
リヴァイの居場所を聞き出さなくてもよかったんですか？
黙ってても奴は出てくる。
わかるんですか？
俺が育てたからな。リヴァイ・アッカーマンはそういうやつだ。
Ackerman, Mikasa, Ackerman, Levi, what the fuck? There's 2 bombshells in a row. What the fuck is happening?
正当な王位継承者ヒストリアが。
Soria.
つまりエレンもヒストリアもロッドレースの元にいる可能性が高い。
Is that her dad though? They have the same eye color. Maybe it is as simple as that.
今まですまなかった。
Did he do everything to protect her? What the fuck is going on? I'm in shock right now. So not only did I call one thing, I called 2 things and it got revealed literally one after the other. I said that Historia's importance couldn't just be because she's the daughter of a noble. It has to be linked to power and to rule. And that she was probably the daughter of either a deposed king. Well, I said she was probably the daughter of a king that has been deposed and has had his power taken over by somebody else. That could be the way that the throne was lost, is that inevitably it was usurped from them at some point. But like, holy shit, Levi's last name being the same last name as Mikasa's, I said there was going to have to be a reason why his last name was hidden, why we didn't know his last name. And now we know it's because he's tied to Mikasa. They are related somehow. It could be siblings. I just don't see how they could be siblings because her parents died and she was an only child, so I'm not quite sure. Unless like her mom miraculously survived, but there's no way. She took an axe to the head. There's no way. So they have to be like cousins or something. Or maybe he's her uncle. Could he maybe be her uncle? Maybe. I don't know. But holy shit. But that's why Historia has such significance, is because she is from the true royal family. So she threatens the legitimacy of the current throne, which could be why the Wallace was so intent on killing her, but because they chose not to and allowed her to live a life hidden, they were willing to overlook her significance. But obviously, because now everybody knows who she's connected to and what family she's connected to, she has now become a threat to the current regime, which is why they're trying to capture her, to maybe subdue her or to get rid of her. I knew that when it was mentioned by Emir that she was the daughter of a mistress to a noble, that it wasn't just going to be any noble, that it had to have significance to them, because there's no way that just an illegitimate child of a random noble was going to cause this much stress and this much political turmoil. You know, oh, fuck me. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. Erwin is playing a dangerous game, and I think Neil potentially is involved in it, because he had that interaction with Neil, and it was almost as if he was trying to get Neil on side with whatever he's intending to do. And he said it's a gamble, which means the gamble is going to be his life. He's going to put everything on the line to try and bring down those that are threatening humanity for the sake of maintaining peace, while also lying to the general population, while also masquerading that everything is fine. Are they also not telling the population that they're potentially at war with another population who live outside of the walls? Because they're so hell-bent on hiding the truth. They kill anyone that is considered too smart. They kill people who attempt to fly over the wall and discover something else. They're trapping people within this wall under false pretenses that everything is fine, everything is peaceful. It reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender when they go to Ba Sing Se, and I was like, there's no war in Ba Sing Se. It's kind of that vibe where they want to secure the legitimacy of this king whose family are not the true royal family at the cost of putting the rest of humanity at risk. They're hiding something so significant that they're willing to jeopardize it all. And anyone that dares to reveal the truth, to move against them, is seen as a heretic, is seen as a traitor, and is eradicated. The question being is, what is this truth? And again, I think it comes down to the fact that Titan shifters must have come before. And I keep saying this every video because that's the only way I can see there being such a schism, such a friction, and just the whole internal political turmoil that is happening in these first two episodes is just mind-blowing. So as much as I said I thought season 2 would be like the bridge between, I didn't expect it to be so like phew, in your face, like how quickly the political shifts begin to take place, how we begin to see Erwin deciding that he's going to risk it all, he's going to take that gamble. We get Levi's last name reveal, we get the truth of Historia in terms of her family are the real royal family. But why are they colluding and collaborating with the king if they're the true royal family, unless they're doing so in a way to try and move against them? Or do they have information on them that they're using to subdue them? Because it seems weird to collaborate with the person that's usurped you unless there's an ulterior motive at play. And then there was mention about Eren being eaten. They're taking Eren somewhere to be eaten. Whoever's going to consume Eren is going to gain his abilities, is going to gain his power. Maybe this whole guise with Lord Race is, maybe it's all to try and harness Eren's power for his own plans, his own goals. There's so many threads, and trying to follow every single thread is so confusing right now, because you have what's happening outside of the walls, and now you have this schism within the walls, as Armin said, of people with different viewpoints now coming into conflict with one another. You have those that believe that peace should be the ultimate goal, even if it means killing those who long to be free. They're tasked with maintaining the monarchy's legitimacy and that everything is fine at the expense of murdering people and bloodying their hands. And then you have those that are willing to find out the truth by any means and are also willing to bloody their hands. And then you have that schism then emerge, and just I feel like I'm going borderline insane right now because there's just so much going on and my little brain is trying to like pin it all together and piece it all together. But again, I only have half the pieces right now. It looked like they were involved in killing Historia's mom. He said something. What did he say? I have the king. I believe in the king and the peace and the wars. So the king is associated with wanting to hide the truth, wanting to hide the significance of what the walls really are and what they mean, possibly in connection to Lord Race's family. And at the same time, wanting to cement his own position by hiding the truth that he's not the rightful ruler. So the first interior squad must have been behind the minor disappearing. Likewise was behind his friend also disappearing. So now we're learning that there is essentially a secret faction to the military police. The teacher's too smart for their own good, right? Then you have a stupid couple who tried to fly. And I might be looking too much into this. We know that Armin's parents tried to go beyond the wall. And you can't really see their faces, but you can see their hair color. What if that was Armin's parents? What if they never actually made it beyond the wall because they were killed before they could do so? Because it was seen as a threat to the established rule of peace. So at the end of series 1, in my episode 25 video, I had a long theory about the visions that Eren has in the first episode. And the first one being a destroyed statue in military regalia. So it looked as if it was somebody of noble or royal birth that had their images destroyed as a way to erase them from history, which now I think that must be linked to the Race family. Then it pans straight after that to a room, and it's very like run down room. The curtains are very luxurious. They look almost regal, as if there's significance to them that doesn't quite match the interior decoration of the room. And you get like a view slightly of the outside, so you know that it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So could that then in episode 1 of series 1 have already been hinting to Historia living in hiding, living a simple life with her mother in a ranch in the sticks, and that was her bedroom? Humanity has only made it this far because we erased them. So they erased anyone that they saw as a potential threat to humanity's peace, or anyone that could have revealed the truth about peace and the king. The rest of us hate him. So it is linked to the king and some false ideology that they're promoting, A, of his legitimacy, and B, that their kingdom is solid and the real threat is the Titans. But if the king is saying that the real threat is the Titans, is that because he has committed atrocities against the people that live outside of the walls based on their birth, based on them having these abilities to shift? And the fact that they're all now technically considered criminals, they're seen as traitors, this is going to put them on the opposing side of the elite, of the interior. And I had a feeling this was going to come into play at some point, that what they thought they knew and believed in was going to turn out to be a lie, and it's going to put them on the opposing side to humanity as a whole, that they're not necessarily going to agree with the way that humanity is going. But eventually we could see characters that don't necessarily agree with the methods that they're taking or the direction that they're going, and maybe turn in order to save their own skin. This is only episode 2 and my mind is in a tizzy right now. I need to watch more episodes in order to put things together more coherently, because right now, again, it just seems like threads here and there. I need more evidence. I need more information before I can start like piecing more stuff together, especially with everything that's happened in season 2. Because again, what we're seeing now is the schism within the wars, within humanity. But how does that then link back to the Beast Titan? How does that link to Bertold and Reiner? What if the man that's holding Historia isn't actually her dad? But she's never seen her dad. I'm going to presume she's never actually met her dad. What if that's not actually her dad, though? And what if it is somebody that just inherited that title? And what if Historia's true dad is who the Beast Titan is, and he's trying to reclaim what was stolen from his family, which is his royal title? What if that's what his goal is? It's not necessarily to destroy all of humanity, but it is to take back what was stolen from him, and he's manipulating and using people who were discriminated against by humanity to achieve his end goal, to achieve what he wants, what he desires. He's manipulating people and pulling threads. I don't know. Maybe it is Historia's dad, but I feel like it's too simple. I feel like it's too, there you go, this is Historia's dad. And the reveal kind of feels a bit off. It doesn't feel as if it's right. Something feels off with it. My gut doesn't trust it. Something just doesn't sit right with me when it comes to him. It just, again, the show is so complex. I think it's just too simple for them to be like, yeah, that's her dad. And it doesn't make sense in terms of the fact that somebody who is actually the royal family is working to the advantage of those that took his throne. That doesn't make sense to me. Again, it could make sense if there is like a, you know, if he's intending to turn on them and he's intending to manipulate and overthrow. But I just don't think that's her dad. I just don't. I think potentially if her dad exists still, it would make more sense for him to not exist within the walls because he's too much of a threat. If Historia is a threat because she is an illegitimate child, then surely everyone who has the blood of the king, so the first king that came, which Historia has the blood of the king, which makes her so like politically important. But how does Ymir, the goddess Ymir, play into that as well? Unless it's like the goddess Ymir was kind of the founder of the religion, founder of Titan Shifters. The blood of the king is the first member of the race family, and Historia is a descendant of him. So she is the blood of the king, right? But it wouldn't make sense for her father to exist within the city walls because he would be a threat to the throne. So again, I'm thinking that potentially, again, her father was stripped of his title and it was given to another family in order to prevent her father from posing a risk. And that was why she was also forced to live a humble life in order to survive. They wanted her dead. The church wanted her dead, meaning by extension, the king probably wanted her dead. So if her father's allowed to exist, why is Historia not allowed to exist? What does Historia possess that's such a threat to the throne in a way that her dad wouldn't be? Which is what's making me think that her dad, that man isn't her dad, and that she's being manipulated and coerced into thinking that it's her dad, and to try and build some weird sentimental connection to try and keep her subdued so she doesn't rise up against them. But it's all a ploy. It's not actually her dad, and that her dad could be the Beast Titan who is waging war on humanity as a way to reestablish his control and his throne. My brain hurts right now. But also poor Armin. Poor Armin, my sweet baby boy, and like having to go through that trauma of killing a human. That soft side of Armin that we see in season 1 beginning to harden. We can see the consequences of what he has to do in order to survive in this world, but also to protect the people he cares about, are beginning to have an impact on him. And by extension, I talked about how I felt like at some point the series was going to delve into post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm beginning to think that potentially Armin could be a candidate for that, and the ramifications that killing and war can have on the mind. We saw glimpses of it with Reiner, but just the way that you begin to see Armin really kind of shift in this episode. His whole demeanor, he becomes more emotionally detached, a bit colder in how he speaks. And it just seems as if this and the inevitable deaths to come are going to eventually cause such psychological strain on him that we maybe begin to witness a breakdown or an inability to separate the past from reality, where we see the repercussions of traumatic memories come into play. But I have my eye on Armin. I feel like the way his character is going to develop over the next series is going to be really fascinating to watch, because we're just seeing a different side to him than what we have in series 1 and series 2. I think that's all I have to say right now, because if I talk anymore, I'm just going to confuse myself even further. This was an insane episode. Insane. So much information dropped. But again, I don't have all the pieces. I still think Neil's going to work with Erwin because we didn't see that conversation. And usually when you don't see a conversation take place between two characters, it's because something is going on between them that's only going to be revealed later on. So we're led to believe that like everything was, tied up, loose ends, all that kind of jazz. But I think Erwin's maybe let Neil on to what he knows, played on their connection as having served together. And Neil is not going to be the bad guy that I may have thought him to be based on his behavior in series 1, but he's actually going to be someone that deeply cares for what is right. And it's going to put him at odds with the rest of the military police who do not give a shit. And I think Neil's going to try and help Erwin in whatever Erwin's trying to do. But I think whatever gamble Erwin is going to do is going to be his inevitable end, because he's playing a very dangerous game with very dangerous people who have a lot of power and a lot of control. And Erwin's power is being stripped from him. His control is being stripped from him. And I think they're going to start planting things on him, or they're going to somehow discover his plan and they're going to accuse him of treason and he's going to be forced into a tribunal. That's how I see it going. But that's for future episodes, I guess. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!